right, guys, what's going on? Uh, Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the third week of mindfulness. And we're coming from our honeymoon. Molly's behind the camera right now, Cozumel, Mexico, because it's really dark here right now and noisy outside. So, unfortunately, view for you guys to enjoy. But if you can imagine, it's just right back there. There's palm trees. There's tequila everywhere. So we're having a really good time. And but we feel super honored to be able to be here with you guys and to do this YouTube live video on the mindfulness and to keep it going, every week, and to make it a habit for ourselves and anybody who's interested in watching it. And we feel like it's a vital part of the gym and fitness and health and wholeness. And yeah, speak louder. That's cool. Okay, I got to speak louder. Technical difficulties here. We'll kind of keep going. And what couple books I've been just looking at. I don't know if I should. Can you see that? That's a good book that I picked up. The Art of Meditation, Joel Goldsmith. Christian. So most of that information is about
lamp. Oh, it's live again.
So why don't you grab the computer?
Okay.
All right. So sorry about the technical difficulties. The other book was Miracle of Mindfulness. But one of the first things that we can do is it's kind of on ramp, right? We're talking about like air squats here, right? The air squat of mindfulness. And the first thing is the posture. And there's a bunch of ways to do it, but when you become mindful in meditation, because mindfulness is what that is, in my opinion, and just from what I've read, is just awareness, becoming more aware. And start with anything. Just maybe first start with becoming aware of your thoughts, and just kind of who you are. And don't judge it. Don't have to PhD in who you are. You just start to notice that. You become aware of that. And what meditation is a practice of relaxation, deeper into mindfulness. So they work hand in hand. Mindfulness is the awareness. Meditation is a form of tapping in. So the posture for meditation is, honestly, it just needs to be a relaxed position for yourself. So maybe you're in a lotus position. I can't do lotus. Half lotus. I can barely do half lotus. I think most of us here in the Western world can just do better by sitting, in a chair, nice and upright, and your feet are on the ground. So you guys can join me as I'm talking about this. So sit in a chair, sit comfortable somewhere, feet on the ground, sit nice and upright. You don't want to be like stiff as a board, but you do want to be as neutral as you can with your chin all the way down through your spine. So you just don't want to slouch, but whatever you can do to almost just basically physically relax. Okay, and then your hands, you're going to put them just comfortably in your lap. Okay, you can go palm up, you can sit this style, whatever's good for you, as long as you don't have to think about the body. You don't want the body to be like tired or distract you. So we're going to get comfortable, upright, feet grounded, hands comfortable. And then the other thing that I was just reading about was a half smile. And I like that. I think that's interesting because that actually relaxes your face. So what we're going to do is for a minute, let's all just for a minute, just meditate in a relaxed state, half smile. Your focus is just going to be on your breath. So you breathe in and you'll breathe out. We'll just do that for a minute. You do it at home on your own. I'm going to do it sitting here right now, and we'll meet you back in 1 minute. Okay? So nice and relaxed. Focus on the in, focus on the out. Okay? You can close your eyes if you want. You don't have to. Okay? I'm going to. About a minute. And we're still live, I think. The connection's still good. Yeah, Molly's cameraman. So, is the computer any better?
Well, the phone was fine. Keep going.
Is it on? So if you guys wanted to use that 1 or 2, 3 minutes of just breath, noticing the breath, you can do that prior to sleeping, and that can help put you to sleep a little bit better. So again, it's just relaxation. No bones about it. Nothing that you need to. No scripture you need to read. No religion that you have to be a part of to be more mindful. It's not necessarily what it has to be. It may be that for you. It is for me. But at the same time, that's so individual. So don't let it be something that you're scared of or unsure of because it sounds religious or spiritual. It's just a great way of tuning in and in some ways just relaxing. Maybe that's all it is for you. That's great. That's just great. Just like we exercise for the body, we meditate for the mind. So maybe in 100 years, it'll be common knowledge to do this. And it is already. It is already. But I think for most of us, where we live, it's still fairly new, and it's something that we know about, but maybe don't completely understand. And I'm the same way. So. But when you start to feel some benefits from it, just like working out, it makes you motivated. So the benefits can be, again, just a little bit more peace, a little bit more joy, even if it's for a split second. And that's enough for me to realize that, hey, I'm into this. I can do this. So for you guys, whatever it is for you, even if it's just a split second of just having some joy, that's what it's going to be all about. Okay. The next step, as you get more into it, is a couple thoughts. This book, Thich Nhat Hanh's Miracle of Mindfulness, talks about one of the steps they do. He's Buddhist, but is to focus on the breath. And so what you want to do when you're focusing on your breath or noticing it is you want to have the same inhale and the same exhale length. So let's say your exhale is 4 seconds. Well, you want to make your inhale 4 seconds. So it'd be something like, and just really even and smooth, okay? And doing that practice can lower your heart rate, lower your blood pressure. It can relax your whole body. And imagine when you're really tired or stressed out, what do? You go to your breath. So we're practicing the breath, noticing the breath to induce relaxation before stress even happens. And so you're already in this state of a good spot, we'll call it. So when stuff does come at you during the day, you can react with a little bit more discernment, a little bit more calmness, because you're already in a good state, versus it happening, somebody pissing you off, and you overreacting. Now what you can do is you can begin your day, or you can end your day by becoming calm and then making calm choices from there. So Thich Nhat Hanh in that book talks about the breath and making it even on the in and on the out. And it's just nice and smooth. So you guys can add that to your practice, trying that. Let's try that for a minute. So this is obviously, you can do longer, you can do shorter, but just for the video's sake, we'll do it for a minute. So we're going to sit in our posture, and we're just practicing different ways, and we're just going to have an even breath in and an even breath out, and just notice the in, notice the out, and that's all you need to focus on for 1 minute. Okay, here we go. That's another way to focus on your breath. And I actually like that one more, having like the count, like the same amount out and in, because you're completely focused on your breath. And so like all the crazy thoughts that come in your head, is my cat outside? Did I take the trash out? What noise is that? Like you don't really necessarily think about that stuff because you're so focused on the in breath and you're focused on the out breath. So you have something to kind of single out your thought. And that's probably the hardest part with meditation is just keeping your thought, you know, on a, because we just go in so many different directions. But focusing on the breath is a great way of starting to train the power of your focus and the power of your concentration, which is important. I mean, we all need to be more focused, have more concentration. Me and Molly, we were talking about this at dinner tonight. Just when you're young, you're given like this toy that rattles and it takes your attention, and then when you're done with that, you get another toy that rattles, and you're just constantly being distracted. And it's nobody's fault, but give a kid an iPad, and they're done, right? Their focus is out, and as parents, I'm sure that's a nice thing to do, though. You need some time for yourself. So it's not a right or a wrong, but we were all exposed to it, and we still are. Noise everywhere. So concentration is like a muscle that you can train, and the more you practice that, the easier it gets. But you don't have to try too hard either. Don't overwork it because it's not gonna happen if you try too hard. So we have the posture, nice and upright, hands relaxed, neutral chin, and the half smile. Got to do the half smile. That's the best part. You focus and notice and watch the breath. You want an even out and an even in. Okay. And the other tool in the Miracle for Mindfulness book was to try to count to 10. This is actually a cool little exercise where you breathe in and you count 1, and you breathe out and you count 1. And then you breathe in and you count to 2, and you breathe out and you count to 2. And it sounds fairly easy, but you'll get going, and like halfway through, you'll think about something. Did I, whatever. Do I need to shut the garage door? You have this random thought. So when you lose track, the rule is you have to go back and start at 1 again. So your whole goal is to be able to be focused and concentrate on 10 breaths in and out. And so let's try that now. So same posture, same focus of breath, but now when we breathe in, we count to 1 in our head, and when we breathe out, we count to 1 in our head, and then we keep doing that until we get to 10. And if you get distracted, you go back to 1. Okay? We'll go for a minute. Maybe you make it to 10, maybe you don't. That's okay, but let's see. Let's see how our focus is tonight. Okay? Here we go.
Okay, did you make it to 10? The first few times I did that, I did not make it to 10. It's gotten easier now to really focus on the breath and the count. And then, again, that's just another exercise that you can use to start your meditation, especially if you're not sure where to start and what to think about or what to do. It's an easy exercise. And I like that correlation with CrossFit and how we understand how that works to merge that with meditation and mindfulness and how it can be the same thing. So the posture, the noticing or witnessing of the breath, and then the even breath in out, and then also the counting. And so even though you're only thinking about your counting, again, you're only thinking about your counting and your breath. And I think that starts to hone in on the focus and concentration. And that starts to build mindfulness, building power of concentration. And then, there's some deeper steps. That Art of Meditation book, where the guy is very Christian, which I love, but I don't want to push that on anybody, let's see that, Molly. This is the book. So it's super easy. It's a super cool read. My mom gave it to me a long time ago. But what he does is he recommends is, reading some scripture or reading some inspirational quotes from a book, or just anything that sticks out to you that really kind of catches your attention, and you take that quote or whatever those words with you into meditation, and you basically hold them in your mind while you meditate, and you think about it and you contemplate on what it means, and what it means for you, and why it noticed your attention, and why did that kind of pull you into that attention there. And one that's always been big for me is to let go and let God, because I'm always trying to control things, or if I'm not in control, I get really nervous or anxious just flying here to Mexico. It's the first time for me and Molly to do this. It's scary, and you don't know anything. You don't know the language. You don't know the currency. What's going to happen? Are we safe? Da 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 da. And there's just some things that you're just not going to be in control of. And as soon as you can let go of that, not shove it away and just drink it away, but witness it, that anxiety or whatever it is for you. Once you notice what that is, you can kind of let it go and just trust. And so for me, it's God. For you guys, it could be, whatever, any word you want to use for that. And that's the thing. That's what's important is there's a lot of ways to work out, a lot of ways to get in shape, and there's a lot of ways to look at God or religion. So it doesn't need to be one way or the other. And nobody's right, nobody's wrong. But there are a few things that you can start to focus on that work for you, because it's got to work for you. That's the most important thing. So again, you find some words, you find some scripture, and or just an inspirational quote, and you can take that into meditation. And you can even use the breath with that. And every time you breathe, you kind of repeat the mantra in your head. And in a way, it's hypnotic to where it kind of puts you in, again, a relaxed state, letting go, letting God, letting go, letting God. So that works for me, whatever it is for you. Okay. And if you guys have any questions, you can put those up on anything, and you can, if you watch the video later and you want to ask some questions or email Molly or I, you can do that. I don't want to take too much of your time tonight. Really, we're super honored to be here with you, even though we're on vacation. We love this. This is who we are, and we exercise on vacation. We eat healthy on vacation. We have eaten unhealthy and had lots of drinks too, right? No, Molly hasn't. I have. I ate bad, so we're not perfect, of course, and that's not what we're trying to push. But again, what we want to do is make the path of health not seem so narrow, but make it so big and all inclusive So no matter where you are in your life or what you're doing, you know about nutrition, and you're eating good things, and you're exercising from time to time, and now we can add this mindfulness into it. So it's not about, it has to be perfect and you have to be in your home, and it doesn't have to necessarily even be quiet, and you can do the breath. Like right now there's like some band outside blasting Santana, which is amazing right now, and I want to get down there and listen to it. But again, you can always use any situation you're in to be on the path. Okay, so I just want to leave you with a couple things to think about tonight, because this is also kind of a life coaching video as well. And these are really cool things that I took from a book written by Panache Desai. I'm probably not saying that right, but the book was called Your Soul Signature. I would recommend that book to anybody. Soul Signature by Panache Desai. And it was, these are good daily questions to contemplate. These are even questions you can meditate on. And the first question was, or question for yourself is, what am I feeding, in quotations, myself? Okay? What are you putting in? What are you embracing? What are you soaking up in your life? What are you accepting? Okay? Feeding in terms of the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, intellectual, the physical, right? What are you putting in your body? Okay? What are you feeding yourself? Okay? Is it good for you? Does it serve you or not? Okay? So that's one question. Number two, with whom are we surrounding ourselves with? It really does matter who you hang out with. And I remember, as a kid, your parents, they're always like, worried about your friends, and they want to make sure you're hanging out with the right people. And you're like, it's, no big deal. It doesn't even have a correlation. When really, now that we're older, we realize, we are our friends. Our friends are us. Who we hang out with is who we are. And birds stick together. So you have this vibration, and you hang out with people that are vibrating on the same level. Okay? It's not a right or a wrong. It's just, it is what it is, right? So with whom are we surrounding ourselves with? Okay? Is that, those people, do they lift you up or do they kind of tear you down? This is the third one, how are we choosing to show up in each moment? You have a choice every single moment to show up. How do you show up? Do you show up with love in your heart? Do you show up with compassion, or do you show up with some anger, some guilt? Do you feel like a victim? Why do you feel like a victim? All these things, again, to contemplate. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's for us to investigate. Okay, it's just like exercising. Why can't I do handstand push-ups? I've got to figure this out. Okay, and mindfulness helps you realize how you're showing up, right? So realizing how you show up, that's being mindful. And the fourth one is, what is the tone of your inner voice? So the quiet inner voice, when you meditate or when you just sit there quiet, are you self-serving or self-sabotaging? And I can be one of the first people to admit I'm a self-sabotager many times, and that's good to know. It's important to be humble enough to embrace who you are, so that you can start to first off accept it, and then realize it and do something about it. But you are always in control of how you show up, and that inner voice is not separate from you. It is you. You are your inner voice. You are. And it's a pattern that maybe we've built up over time that we need to first off notice, and then stop the motion, stop the momentum of that voice through mindfulness, and start to reverse it with more positive mantras. So life's experiences are basically your feedback loop for everything, for who you are. So everything you experience is just a feedback on who you are. Okay, if you have lots of joy and you hang out with lots of joyful people, it probably means that you're joyful. If you're hanging out and you're witnessing a lot of turmoil, a lot of craziness, maybe that's normal too. That's okay. We all deal with that. But if it's constant and stress and health issues, really investigate what your inner voice is and how you're showing up in each moment. Okay. Molly, is there anything? Okay, cool. So let's just finish up, guys, with this mindfulness video here. Again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Love to talk about this so much that we want to do it on vacation, and we hope that you guys can get something out of this. And just start with a couple minutes a day, in the morning or in the evening. So again, if you have questions, just shoot it our way. And we're students. We're all students. That's all it is. So the last thing we're going to leave with is just a 1-minute meditation. Last thing, so your feet are grounded, you're upright, hands are relaxed, half smile, and let's just focus on the breath again, the even in and out. 1 minute, and then we'll finish up. Okay? Here we go. So, hey guys, we just meditated for 3 minutes total in this whole 15 minutes, whatever this video is. Good job. 3 minutes. You did it, right? Easy enough. Something about the silence. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And if you had a hard time with that, start with 30 seconds. Start with 5 seconds. Use the breath. The breath is the gateway to your consciousness. Okay? Check out a good book. Okay? I've been working with a buddy on just recommending some books. So if you have questions on what books to get, let us know. We'll give you some ideas. Or maybe you have some books laying around. There's always a reason for everything. So pick something up, talk to somebody, find good people to hang out with, and start with a very simple meditation practice. And just like you exercise, just like you eat healthy, as much as we can. Same thing with the mental health and the spiritual health with the mindfulness meditation. Thanks for joining. Hope this was some benefit to you guys. Namaste, as Doris would make me say. And we appreciate you guys, love you guys, and can't wait to be back in Springfield. Not too, we can wait, but we're excited to be back with you guys. Okay, see you soon. Thanks for joining in.